Manchester United have moved to the top part of the Premier League, that is the lower bottom of the Premier League, whilst Tottenham have lifted up to the eighth position. Manchester United 0 at home in Old Trafford. Tottenham 3. Tottenham have a lot of history with Manchester United in Old Trafford, and today it has repeated itself. Manchester United fans might say because of the red card, but then before the red card, what happened? With me is Sammy, Eddie, and Kay. If you just join us and you are new, remember to subscribe, be part of this amazing community, like and share the video, and hey, we are building, and you should be part of the building as well. Tottenham give the game to Manchester United. Like really, really before the red card, first half, first goal, and all that. What do you think about like before the red card, United performance?
United didn't start the game well. And as always, as I was expecting, I think Tottenham are a good side. They gave us a very good match. It was a very good test, and I can honestly say that we failed. The next thing is looking at how Tottenham scored their first goal. I think you cannot blame the coach for this shambolic performance. The players didn't turn up. That is what I saw. It was like they were playing against a League Two side. I hope you understand what I'm saying. And how come a defender get a ball from his own half, drive through our defense from the midfield straight into our 18 balls to give this nice cross for a tap in? Sometimes we blame the coaches for nothing. This is down to the players. You understand? And this thing, it happens on Wednesday. Look at the goals we conceded. It was the same move that they did. So you cannot pin it on the coaches. It's the players. And unfortunately, United, we didn't turn up. So that is why we lost the game. Tottenham is a good side, and it was a good match. Yeah.
Sammy, United had some good glimpses. We saw them hitting a pole. We saw them trying to get back into the game. By the end of the day, Bruno got the red card. Garnacho actually gets on to hit the post, but then afterwards, we didn't see United. Do you think they could have do much better than this?
Before I get your question, I would like to say hi to all the United fans out there. I think I've said this and I'll continue to say it. Until United changes a coach, United will continue to fall. Now, why do I say this? Looking at what my brother said earlier, this same move that he was talking about happened earlier against FC20. So any good coach would have always talked about that issue. But see what? It repeated itself. And I can assure you that now this is going to be a trend of other teams. They are going to drive in because they know that the United players are not well endowed when it comes to pushing around these players. Now, coming back to my issue. In fact, today's game is one of the games that really exposes United as a team. This shows how the level of United. Now, when it goes to Bruno Fernandes, this season, every fan would tell me and will be truthful that he has not turned up. His form is bad.
That one is
He lacks that quality of a leader. He's not pushing.
Yeah.
In fact, the tackle he did, honestly, it was meaningless. It was not needed. You are down with 1-0. Your team is suffering. It's not a goal scoring opportunity that you have to put in there. It's reckless. So personally, I'm blaming Bruno Fernandes for what he did. Garnacho on any day, I think Garnacho is the best player in United. Personally, that's what I think. Because he's the only player who always shows his quality. He's the only player who always knows how big United is. It's like the rest of the players, they are just there because it's United. Go to the days where if you are playing for United, even in the stadium alone, and you see these players not putting enough effort and losing against a Tottenham team who does not have character. And that is what pains me. This Tottenham, if you have watched them this season, all their wins have been a little bit doubtful. But playing against United, I saw the way they were comfortable before the red card. And if you're a United fan out there, you are happy or you are, I don't know. But I expect you to be very sad for what you saw. Even me as a Barca fan, I'm really sad because United arguably is the best team in England with a number of trophies they have. And now United is now labeled as, now they're on the 12th position. They are on the 12th position. How? How can you tell me this? So for me, I always say Erik Ten Hag is clueless. He doesn't know what he's doing. He have asked for all the players he's asked. He's had them. But still, we don't see what United is doing. In the first half, I even thought that United was going to play long balls. And that Erik Ten Hag is not a coach for long balls. He's more or less like a tactical tiki-taka coach. And then I saw long balls. It was not working. And now a red card came. And now I don't know what he did. Was it Tottenham relaxed a bit? And I saw United fans so happy. The energy was coming. And then went again to 3-0. In fact, it was one of the poorest United games I've watched in Old Trafford.
Second, Ten Hag wouldn't solve United's problem because after Sir
Please,
Alex
can you
Ferguson,
go
how
to your
many
right a
after
little bit? Yeah.
it's okay. After Sir
Yeah.
Alex Ferguson, how many coaches have we appointed? You understand? So you can clearly identify that the problem is not the coach, it's the board. They are using United for business. That is the problem. Because look at the players that United signed previously. Paul Pogba, we didn't need Paul Pogba. I'm not saying Paul Pogba is not a good player. No, I'm not saying that. But Paul Pogba performed very well with some quality of players around him. And we didn't have that players. Look at Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho is a very good player, but we don't have the quality to protect him to play the sort of ball or the sort of football that he wants to play. You understand? So these people, they are not ready to buy those kind of players right now because those players, you don't really see them. Look at Chelsea. Chelsea bought Fernandes for how much? Chelsea bought Casado for how much? You understand? This is a club that is willing to sacrifice everything for the performance of the team. They are not thinking about dividends. They are not thinking about paybacks. They are thinking about Chelsea winning trophies and Chelsea performing well. You understand? But if you come to United, this is a big club that they are using it to get money to enrich themselves. Look at the debt that we have. It's outrageous. You
Well,
understand my point? And right now the priority is to build a stadium. Whilst we are like I don't even have the words to explain the kind of football we play today.
Emotions.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Look, the caliber of United playing this sort of football is sad. Even though we are in debt, at least these players should at least understand the badge that they are playing for. And they didn't turn up, unfortunately. Second, Ten Hag wouldn't solve the problem because Ranić came. Do you know how Ranić play his football? He came and nothing happened. These players are not good, and the manager has been restricted. If you tell
well,
United that we cannot buy a player worth more than 100 million in this day and age, it means that you are restricting United to buy quality. You get
well,
my point. So these coaches
yeah, I
always
get your point.
scavenges for the amount that he has been given to work on. So blaming Ten Hag wouldn't actually solve the problem. The problem is the board. Those Glazers must go.
United in the previous days, yes, the board were using the club for money. Yes, we all understood that. But currently, you can't say that because I think they have actually been able to buy every bit of a player the coach asks for. I'm not going to go far away from that. Ugati, that they said their midfield was actually in shambles. They will bring Ugati to actually mastercase that. Eddie, Ugati starts against Tottenham today. Do you think he was super as they thought?
Right, so talking of Bugatti, we all knew
Hmm.
PSG, but sometimes as my brother just stated earlier on, some players, if you buy certain players, you need certain also players, you probably to play alongside them, you know. So talking of Bugatti as a whole, is a good midfielder, but playing for Manchester United in this moment is not. I think we won't see the Bugatti we thought of or we based on it to buy from me. Buy. Yeah, so one thing I would say for today, for his performance today, I think the entire team were poor. I won't single out any single player. The entire team, the performance today were very poor. So if it is what it is. Full of emotions.
Yeah, it
We
is.
didn't get what we were
Yeah, it is.
expecting. Yeah,
It
so
is what it is.
Yeah, it
this is
is
what it
what
is.
it is. The part that I
Yeah.
supported you was the
Mm-hmm.
players not actually turning out because I heard one Manchester United former player saying
Mm-hmm.
that the time he was playing in United, he wasn't
Yeah.
scared of what his family would say. He wasn't
Mm-hmm.
scared of what the board would say, but what he was scared of was his teammates. Like when he does a mistake or he's not turned out in the team, what his teammates will actually do. And
Mm-hmm.
clearly, these United current players, I don't see it happening like at all. Look at
Rashford.
Chelsea.
Rashford.
Look at. I'm giving you a typical example. Look at Chelsea after sacking Tuchel. With all the players we have, they went and took Graham Potter. As his quality, he could not do anything. But this kind of players you have. I think with their quality, if you get a better manager, you'll see how things will turn around. Notwithstanding, today, much of the things where he is supposed to be blamed because the kind of changes he made, well, I didn't understand. You are down by a red card. Your midfielder got injury. Okay, this time you need to have a low block and then dwell on counter-attacking. What do? The midfielder who is down, you remove him, that is Menu, and bringing in Mount. Bringing in Mount wasn't my case. Now you remove a striker and you bring in another midfielder. And you know that Casemiro, Mount, they can't give you that counter-attacking football that you needed.
Mhm.
And later on, you just have to remove some couple of players again to bring in attack, which is like useless for me in that time. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what the management was thinking, but clearly I didn't think Erik Ten Hag's decision at that point. It was just baseless. It
Yeah,
was just me.
sometimes it's
Actually,
I
the
think his
okay.
decision, is one way or the other. He will sometimes take let me say a midfielder or a striker. Instead of him to probably read the game probably very well. He will make a substitution that we the fans or we the viewers sometimes we get to ask ourselves, is he like what is he even doing? Like in today's case, we are down by a man. So instead of you to probably defend, see what he did.
No.
It became a different story.
It was a formational change. I think when he got the red card and Menu went off, he wanted to play 4-1-3-1. You understand? It was 4-1-3-1, and by that you don't really need two holding midfielders.
Even even by
You
that,
understand
he
what I'm
didn't play the
saying?
4-1-3-1. He played
No, it was
4-4-1.
we were defending 4-1-3-1, and by that we don't need two holding midfielders. We only needed one because we were down by one. And if you are playing at home, so there's a pressure on you to perform. So by that substitution, I think I have disagreed with Ten Hag on so many occasions based on his substitution. But on this, I think he was spot on because he couldn't do anything else except to change the formation and to bring in like attacking, like boss to boss kind of player to support the midfield. But we didn't need to play with two holding midfielders whilst we are done by an
Down
attacking
by.
midfielder. I hope you understand what I'm
I
saying.
get the point. I get it.
Can
But
I'm going to take it step by step. I want you guys to follow me closely. I'm going to
Okay.
start from what Kay said. United started with Mourinho. Then we
Yeah.
brought in Van Gaal. Then
Yeah.
we brought in Ravnik.
No,
Then
it
we
was
brought
Vanguard and Moreno.
Mourinho. Then I just keep
Yeah.
on mentioning the coaches that have come through.
Yeah.
This young
Radnik,
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
yes. Now you are trying to tell me that all these coaches
Then
that came to coach my United are
Mhm.
top coaches for United. That's what you are trying to tell me. And if you are trying to tell me that, then I can say that you are not being fair to United. The kind of caliber United is to be coached by these coaches. No. When it comes to Mourinho, we all know that Mourinho is a different kind of coach and he doesn't play the United plays. So definitely it won't fit. But they needed a quick fix. That was the idea. It was not for a long-term project. Aside Mourinho,
Yeah.
look at the kind of coaches that came.
Radnik
You
was
know,
good. Solskjaer was
you are not
Solskjaer was
talking.
doing
No.
very well
That
at
is
Mood.
that is where the problem. You see, now the problem with United fans is that they have forgotten their own team. Now the time that Ranić was good.
Yeah.
Can Ranić coach Manchester United? It's not possible. On a normal day, when say Alex Ferguson was there, look at the caliber, and you are leaving from Alex Ferguson, you are bringing Ranić. You're happy with that? I'm
But I
coming.
mean,
Let me finish.
you are
Let me
forgetting the
finish.
point that we just got beat by an unknown coach.
Let me finish.
You understand?
Please let me finish.
Okay.
First, if you're comparing teams, you should know the levels.
Yeah.
Tottenham can change any kind of coach they want
Mhm.
because Tottenham is not noted for winning trophies. Tomorrow
Yeah.
they can go to La Liga and bring in a coach. Nobody cares.
Mm.
But if
Yeah.
United is going to appoint a coach, United has to do it right. That's one thing I want United fans to know. If you understand what your team is made up of, you understand why I'm talking this way. United is not a small team. It's a big team. It's the biggest club in England. Now let me come back to the topic. Actually, just a moment. Now coming back to the topic, a coach like Ten Hag doing these changes. Personally, if I'm going to use this to judge Ten Hag, I'm not being fair to him, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when you go one goal down, some people prefer to defend, some will prefer to attack.
Yeah.
And from what he did, he wanted to still attack, but it did not turn
Yeah.
out right. But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, the coach is responsible for whatever outcome. That is what it is.
Yeah.
But my
Yeah.
problem is The confidence you are giving to the team is very, very important. You are playing at Old Trafford in your own home, and it looked like Tottenham was playing in DS. I watched one of the channels, and the players were like, "Are we really playing Old Trafford?" That is how bad United has got into, and it's high time United fans need to open their eyes,
Exaggerated.
and it's not exaggerated. It's high time. You see, that's the problem. If you're going to keep up with mediocrity attitude, United will never, never, ever come back to the top four. But
We have
if
5 year project, Eddie, Sammy, 5 years,
Yeah,
just
that's what I
five
was
years.
coming to say.
Actually,
Today,
doctor
today the
doctor
board,
said doctor said that he can really see that now we are buying to win trophies. At first, it wasn't like that, but now
yeah,
because of Enios, they are signing players not
and,
necessarily to bring money in the club, but to at least play very
and
well
today,
and to win something.
and okay, today they've made it clearly that they are
Mm.
working for a project. By 2028, they win the Premier League.
Yes,
That's what
exactly.
that's what today the board
Yeah,
have
and it's
actually
good, and it's and it's good.
came out to say.
I'm
Yeah,
never,
So
I'm,
and it's
with
I'm
that
never,
good.
part,
I'm never agreeing with this statement because this statement was made long ago that they are building. Do you know when United started to build? Why are you telling me that they're
Eddie,
2028?
Sammy, Sammy,
It's never true.
Sammy, look, Sammy,
Don't let this
Sammy.
information get you excited. I can remember
No, this is
very,
okay,
very
Sammy,
in
Sammy.
so
so
they should keep in breaking the hearts of the fans of United until 2028. You are telling me that you believe
No, no,
personally
no.
that
It
then
can even happen. It can even happen next season.
are you
Who knows?
serious? Are you serious? You are saying who knows? You are not using the probability. You are not even standing on authority.
No, 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 no. I'm talking
Look
of
at where United.
guys,
Sammy. Sammy, look. Sammy, look. Sammy,
guys,
look. The time
the
frame. The
time.
time frame is 5 years, right? And who knows if it happens next year? We are good,
I'm
but
sad.
at least still we have 5 years to.
Thank you very much for watching. And if you just join us and you are new, remember to hit on the subscription button, like and share the video, and we're going to see you in the next video. Ciao.